good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Dima, the cover music. YouTube is just like the real economy in the world. It is highly specialized, and you kind of have to get in where you fit in. For people like myself, I'm a black creator focusing on African American issues and the men, most notably. But you have other things you can do. Fashion, there's finance, there's fitness, and then there's the conservative right kind of content, which really is something for, I would say, Trump supporters or white conservatives. Now, 10 years ago, people like Tucker Carlson on Fox News would be killing in this space, and they still are. But in the last decade, we have seen several non-blacks come into the space and do very well. People like Officer Tatum. There's the Black Conservative YouTube channel. But the best of all is Candace Owens. Candace Owens is, for some people, a very attractive young lady who has a lot of charisma, a lot of zeal. When she lost her job at the Daily Wire, people thought it was over. I thought she would never be able to make a comeback, especially with someone like Fox News or white conservatives. I kind of figured that she got her Negro wake-up call. Boy, was I wrong. Candace Owens and her podcast came back stronger than ever. She took about a month break, and she came back doing extremely well, getting podcast interviews with Amber Rose and also Kanye West. Now, on the flip side, there are other creators who have come into the conservative outlets. These guys are a lot more controversial than Candace Owens. They can be black, but on the right. ALT right, if you can say that, all right? And these are guys like Myron from Fresh and Fit. These are guys like Sneeko. These are guys like Andrew Tate. These are guys like Nick Fuentes. People who are not all white or, traditionally white, but they have big fan bases. But the issue is that these guys typically don't have an audience. Even Just Purdy Things, who is white, they have a hard time fitting into the community and getting monetized. Now, let me kind of get back to Candace Owens. She has a lot of negative things to say about black people.
It's a broken culture, it's a broken society, and hip hop is hurting things. But I also want to talk to you about something I've realized. Even if black Americans are aware and know their history, right? And you can get black conservatives who understand the history much more, who understand, the ills of the left and what the left has done. But still in that regard, they bring to the conservative side the same bad habits that I was hoping black conservatives would be abandoning. And what I'm talking about, number one, is conflict resolution. Black Americans do not know how to resolve basic conflicts. Everything has to turn into a fight. I hate you forever. You got to draw lines. It's like you're this gang or that gang. And you still see it happening in politics.
And so does Myron.
This is very common that people do this, where they draw a lot of attention to our criticisms of African Americans. But the thing is that we make fun of all races on this podcast.
Yeah,
we make fun of, I got a bunch of ethnic hats right here of every single race.
I didn't know that.
Right?
Chinese,
yeah.
I didn't know that.
So, here's the difference. Yeah. When I make fun of other races, they don't cry and complain about it to the same degree that the black community does. Yep. Unfortunately, the black community is one of the most sensitive communities where if you make jokes on them, especially black women, they get offended, etc. But when we say, love you a long time, and you break you by, which we did last show, because I think we had an Asian girl in here, no one says a word. But whenever we make jokes on black women for having certain stereotypes in them, perpetuating it on the show, they get angry.
And what I've noticed is a lot of people feel like, well, since me and you talk down upon the same people, we should be friends. It's kind of like vibing off a hate relationship. We both dislike this particular community, so we should collaborate. Well, we're going to find out that this is not how it works. Let's look at the post that Candace Owens created. On this day, she wrote, "This reminds me of something Vivek said to me about how it's actually better to be a startup than to have too much money on hand. He offered me a sound opinion on why the DeSantis campaign failed. In 2015, MAGA was in startup mode. That's what made it unique." Now look at what Myron says below. Time music, Candace. Join me and Nick J. Fuentes in letting Trump know we need 2016 MAGA Trump back to win this election. And then you heard this. Now, that's very interesting and it's very funny. Why is that very funny? Because Candace Owens does not want to associate with somebody like Fresh and Fit, although she may have in the past, although she may have before when they were hot. But Candace Owens has no use for Fresh and Fit. Candace Owens is monetized. She's dealing with people like Ray J. She's dealing with people with real audiences, big audiences. She doesn't want to deal with people who are, let me say, losers like Myron and Fresh and Fit. Doesn't want to do that. And those guys who used to be big are now just begging. And now these people are looking for help with the same black people that have been talking about blacks. But here's the issue. Black people who dislike blacks can't work with who? Other black people. You know, it's crazy because Myron talked about that on his particular video. Black people get so sensitive when I talk about them and talk about their issues. When you're a black person who talks down on your own community, you're not going to be able to work with other brothers or sisters in the community who think like that. This is exactly why people like Myron and Tommy Sotomayor can never come together and really do anything that makes any sense, because both of them are anti-black, so that means they're anti themselves. And now you're looking for Candace Owens to help you get some attention from Donald Trump, stop the show, who doesn't even recognize you, who doesn't even talk to you, who doesn't even care anything about you. Now you're looking for Candace Owens to piggyback off her platform, but she doesn't even respond to you, and she knows you. Candace Owens knows you because she's on to bigger and better things, and you guys are a liability. This is what a lot of people are trying to show you. Even the blacks don't want to deal with you. And Candace Owens has been there herself, so she knows about being a liability to conservatives, but none are more of a liability than Myron. Why? Because as much as, Donald Trump will never come out and disrespect people like Myron, you can't really associate yourself with people like Myron. And the reason is Candace Owens just toes the line a little bit, towards race hustling and selling out just a little bit. She's calmed down a whole lot from what she used to be in order to keep her platform up. This is something that Fresh and Fit never did. In fact, they've done the opposite. They've gotten even more asinine, and they've become even more controversial, which in turn leaves them to where they are today, which is almost broke. Okay, look, these guys are selling all kind of tours, booty clapping sound tours, on the yacht. Dudes over there super dusty, on X all day. It's probably the only platform they can make money. Can't make money on Facebook, can't make money on Instagram, can't make money anywhere. Completely untalented and dusty, and nobody will touch them. Because why? You can't really have shows with Nick Fuentes, who's already been kicked off YouTube. Okay, these guys have already messed up their own money. So why would somebody associate themselves with someone who's already destroyed their own platform? That was Fresh and Fit's mistake in the first place. Those guys have been kicked off YouTube. Okay, they've been kicked off YouTube. Nick Fuentes is not a business person. He doesn't have any money. Sneeko destroyed himself. Andrew Tate destroyed their own YouTube career. So Candace Owens doesn't want to be associated with that. Stop the show. Although she decided to go ahead and interview Alex Jones, but Alex Jones is a multi-millionaire with a huge following still to this day. But guys, is it sad that Candace Owens gave Myron his Negro wake-up call? Let's find out. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.